Greetings everyone, Tony here. I'm not an expert in optics, but I do have some thoughts and I would like to give a quick user experience report on the Leupold Rifleman Detachable rings. The TLDR is never again. There are a few complaints that we'll go through in this video and you'll be able to see why I'm not a fan of this setup. So first of all, this is mounted on a 30mm tube Vortex Hog Hunter. There was a competing Vortex solution for it as well, but the Vortex 30mm, I believe the Hunter 1-inch rings would be as well. The tall rings would have like a see-through design, and this is mounted for a friend, so he does not particularly like the aesthetics of it. But functionally, I have a few complaints about the Leupold design. Let's get into it. Starting with the information card, we can see the ring is made in Singapore, which is kind of interesting to me. I didn't know that Singapore has these kind of metal products, but anyhow, it's pretty standard design, weaver, rounded crossbars. You get all the stuff you need. You have the rings, you have a little wrench for you as well. You have your instructions on the inside of the page, but the important information you wouldn't find on the instruction sheet is the torque value. Fortunately, you can find that information on their official website, but the terminology is a little odd. There's the keeper clamp torque, which is 14 inch-pounds, and the ring top screw torque, which is 26 inch-pounds. I guess the ring top screw is clear enough, so by elimination, you'll be able to find that keeper clamp is for the rail attachment. 26 inch-pound though is quite a bit for ring torque. For Vortex scopes like this one, generally it is recommended at 15 to 18, and the Vortex rings do reflect that as well. So I'm not too comfortable pushing that kind of a high torque value, but it is what it is. That leads to my major complaint against these rings. It gives you a little tool, which is pretty standard, Allen key, hex head, instead of the standard torques you will see on Vortex rings. That's just what I'm used to. I use a lot of Vortex products. I was like, okay, over the years I've collected a fair share of Allen keys, no big deal. I can figure this out. But the story develops. The rings are made in Singapore, so I'm thinking, okay, metrics, so I have 2.5 and 3. 3 is a little too big and 2.5 is barely catching, so it's really too small. So it's like 2.75. I was like, okay, Leupold American company, so very likely it is in fact imperial measurements. So I tried 1/8, which is too big, and the one size smaller I had was 3/32. That is too small. I can only think of it as some kind of an in-between size. 764 I think would be the number, but in all of my sets I really don't have anything between 1/8 and 3/32. I had to do some digging. 764 Allen keys are available, but 764 hex bits are not available locally, at least for me. And unlike Vortex, Leupold doesn't have an easily accessible parts diagram or any mention of the screw size on their website. So without a torque bit I can install on my torque driver, there's no way for me to verify the proper torque value has been achieved on all the screws, and I had to resort to the traditional German torque spec of good and tight, and that's very unfortunate, and that's why I said never again, because I really want to make sure that all of my optics and my friends and family's optics have the proper torque value. Having the system over torqued can impact how the scope operates and how the erector units function. And in worst case scenarios, you can in fact crush the tubes and permanently damage your optics. So I really want to prevent that. Of course, there's the inverse. If you don't have enough torque value, if you have a higher recoiling gun, you could have the scope moving in the rings, or if you don't have it properly set on your rails, it could be moving against the rail as well. So yeah, that's my quick user experience report on the Leupold Rifleman Detachable rings. If I could go with an alternative, I would do that instead.